every weekday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give my honest thoughts on how that project is being ran. So if you enjoy Kickstarter crowdfunding content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. If you want to support the channel in a real way, consider donating $1 a month on the Patreon down below. But I don't do much with my Patreon, full disclaimer. Now, today, I'm very excited to be checking out, I believe it was the 20th, I think it was like 20th, 27th most popular project on tabletop games right now, Cerro Gordo Silver Mines. Now, there were other projects that I could have covered that were way, way, way more popular, making way, way, way more money, and I was just absolutely besmitten with their main image. Not besmitten in the way that I like their main image, because I don't. Just, it was fascinated that this is the first time I've ever seen someone on their main image mention that they are a YouTuber and their subscriber count. It feels like a really unnecessary piece of information there, which I would be fine with if you also had all the necessary information, like the player length, the time count, the age. At least down here, they do mention that it's a city building game, which I do like, based on a true story, which I like even more, and sets me up for a potential art book. Like, I want to put that one out there. I'm an art book hater. Straight up. Hate them. Loathe them. Garbage. Trash. But you got a historical flair to it. They sell well. Better, I think. And they make much more sense at that point. Combining mining objectives and tile in collaboration with Ghost Town Living, which is the YouTube channel. So, main image, like, it doesn't really do much. It's like, oh, hey, there's art and a box. And you mentioning your subscriber count. Is that convincing me as a non-gamer? No. Is that convincing me as a fan of yours, as one of those 1.5 million subscribers? No. Is it useful? Maybe? I guess, at drawing interest, potentially, like, oh, what's this? It looks like, but I don't think so. Like, it's just, I don't know. And then we have people down here, and it's like, okay, there's artwork people. It's like, I feel like we're just focusing on the artwork, and the artwork's fine, but it's not like what I would be resting my hat on. Yeah, it's very fine. As always with the video, I'm thinking three things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? I will say I do like the fact that I have a rough idea of how large this box is. It feels like a medium weight Euro game. I'm guessing around 90 minutes-ish. I think that's what I saw as well when I was on Board Game Geek. But, oh no, it's 20 to 50. That's a shorter one. As always with the video, three things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? And before we get into it, I do want to mention, now I'll do it after the video. Let's go.
Hello there. My name is Brent.
Personal touch. Right from the jump. Like it. Go.
And I have been living up here.
That makes sense, too. I would be criticizing him if he didn't have a personal touch because he has 1.5 million subscribers, right? Like, if you're not putting your face out there when you have a big YouTube channel, that would be stupid. It reminds me of, Joe Monciano, that really, the guy who's in True Blood. Like him as an actor, but his Kickstarter campaign was so stupid. Like, it barely mentioned at all that he was like, I don't know. It's weird. So I'm glad that he is front and center here because, as a fan, there's 1.5 million fans. They want to see him probably.
Here, in the abandoned mining town of Cerro Gordo for the past 4 years. And back in the 1800s, this town used to be the largest silver mine in California. There was over 4,000 residents who all collectively pulled over $500 million worth of minerals out of the mines below the town.
I love this. We have a historically themed game. If you have a historically themed game, I think going historical is a good idea. As a historical game buff, who also just loves games in general, I am much more interested in this game, knowing that the person creating this game is, like, really, like, he owns the play, like, he knows this stuff. That helps me think that he's going to really thematically connect the content with the game, and it actually gets me extra excited about this because I know who the designer of this game is, and it's probably one of my 5 favorite game designers of all time. If not, he's easily in the top 10. So I am extra excited right now.
And I moved up here 4 years ago to try to bring a little life back to the place, to understand the history here and preserve it for future generations.
And to turn it into a YouTube channel? Brilliant. Hello, Mr. Mormo. That's a great idea. Super smart idea. Wow, the microphone's all the way over here. Apologies on that.
And let me tell you, it has not been easy trying to bring an old ghost town back to life.
So we have 2 here. I wonder if this is the premium version. They look like they're different, like, different printings, too. Which is interesting. Like, the colors are just, it's weird. It's nothing major. Just, I'm trying to figure out what it is.
There's been fires, there's been floods, there's been blizzards, and a whole lot more. But compared to how the original founders had it back in the 1800s, I are pretty...
So I like what this video is doing, but I think it could be doing it better if it was already talking a little bit about the game, or at least showcasing some of the cards to me that, because I'm sure there are event cards that deal with the fires and the tornado, all this stuff, right? So it'd be nice if you were just popping those cards in there. Like, it's not a huge deal, but it would be nice. I'd love to see something aside from artwork at this point. I think that's the real thing. I'd love to see something aside from these people yet again.
Pretty easy. Guys like Mortimer Belshaw, who brought the original finance.
Take backsies. I'm all into it. I love this. We're actually going into the characters and their backstories. I will shut my mouth. I'm excited.
For the town. Victor Beaudry, who owned this general store that I'm sitting in right now. Lola Travis, who owned the original.
See, but here's the thing. I still feel like this could be better if it's like, is there a general store board? Is there a general store card? Is there a general store I can see where it's like, oh, this person actually used to own this general store, and here's the general store in the game, and it's like worker placement. Like, oh, I'm going to put my little meeples there and buy you to get stuff. But no, I don't get to see anything except artwork and old clips, and I feel like could be better. Like, I still think it's good. Not like a harsh criticism, but man, I want to see the components already.
Original brothels in town. They all had this shared vision of bringing a town to life, but they all had slightly
Now we go. Okay, so it's a tiling game. Got it.
competing incentives. And now I am very, very excited to announce a way to encapsulate some of these challenges and feelings that I've had up here trying to rebuild this town over the past 4 years, as well as some of the challenges and feelings the original owners must have had 160 years ago when they established.
This is cool. This is so cool. I wish this was doing better. This is such a neat idea, and I feel like a lot of people would like it. I feel like this is one where they should have been advertising on the BGG. Now, maybe that's not the way they want to go, just because of the designer of the game having mixed reputation, I think, as we'll talk about a little bit. But let's keep going. It's just I really want to analyze this one because I love the idea of this game. And I love what they're doing here with the video, too. Like, I feel like I want to feel the thematic connection, and I am. And I love it. And you're showcasing to me that you 100% are the best person to bring this thematic connection to this game, which gets me super excited.
This town. And that is a board game where you competitively co-build a Western boom town. You act.
That's why, because the components aren't like draw-dropping, it looks like. And that's fine. I don't need them to be draw-dropping. I just wish you'd like... Is this... Yeah, so there's like a special ability here? Okay. Hopefully those are double-sided.
You act as one of the actual characters from Cerro Gordo's past and face some of the actual challenges. From the fires, the floods, the betrayal, and more. There's real history and there's real stakes.
Cool.
There's 5 historical characters to choose from. There's 22 different objectives, 23 different events, and this game is different.
So that's a little disappointing, I will say, for someone who seems to really, really, really focus hard on the artwork. No artwork on the cards. A little bit surprising, a little bit disappointing. You know, like, because it's like you focus so hard on the artwork, along with other things here too, and it's like, oh, okay. Like, there's not even symbols. It's just like, text.
Every single time you play it. You win by collecting silver and completing.
And I don't think that that's too much of an ask for a little icon on there, right? Like, it's not like it's a huge thing. It's just, it's a little thing that, you know, if you're trying to make a super thematic game, which he is, the added extra little details that are there specifically to bring out the theme, like flavor text and, you know, like just the pictures and whatnot, they're pretty important.
Objectives, just like they would have back in the day. And this game's the result of a year of design, hundreds of play tests, and I could not be more proud of the result. I have played this thing countless times up
Still, do we know the player count? I think we did. I think we were told right at the beginning.
here at Cerro Gordo.
2 to 5?
And this is as close as you can get to the feeling and the strategy of the excitement of rebuilding a town in your own home. And now we're at the point where we need a little help bringing this thing to life. If you look below, there's all sorts of...
Okay, so here's my line of thinking on this. There are 2 very distinct people who are going to come to this Kickstarter page, and I'm very curious to see how they market to both of them. So I want to break that down right now. There are the fans of the YouTube channel who are just interested in this topic and probably are not board gamers, or maybe they dabble. And then there are people like me who knew nothing about this town before this, but are board gamers and want to be more interested in it. And right now, with what I see, I feel like it looks too light for me and my group. It looks like the kind of thing where you play it once or twice, but yeah, it's kind of fun. I wish there was more. Expansion, I think, would ramp it up, like, and then I would be done with it for the foreseeable future. That's what I see as a gamer here, personally, which is why, once again, I was really hoping we'd focus a little bit more on the gameplay and the cards and all this stuff. But it is what it is.
Some bonuses. Check them out. Thank you all so much for the support. I cannot wait to see this.
Okay. Now I am going to be a little bit annoyed. Did you at all mention the player like time count and age in this? Because if not, and I have now seen 2 or 3 times that you have 1.5 million subscribers, I'm kind of annoyed. Like, that's not on the top of my priority list. Tell us the price. Yes, the price would be great. Is there an expansion? Is there a deluxe version, like with acrylics or something? Yeah, because like anything here, and it just launched today, so it's gonna crush. And by the way, the only reason it looks like it's not crushing right now, because it's not funded, is because they actually have a real funding goal. Even though $50,000 for this game feels, yeah, that's terrible. That is like that feels like a god-awful price for what is in this box. Because looking at the components, and we will, it's like nothing but cardboard and some really generic plastic pieces, it looks like. Like, so it's like, why do you need $50,000 to make this game? Oh, because you want to make a massive quantity of this game and sell it in the gift shop. I see. But whatever. Because he has the 1.5 million subscribers, getting funded is not going to be the problem. It's easy going to be able to pick up that wave of just gamers in general. So here's one thing that hasn't been mentioned, which is the designer of this game, and I want to do it. His name's Matt Fantastic. I think he is one of the greatest game designers of all time. Every time I play one of his games, I'm always excited because his games just feel different. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, it's a little bit like another one of my favorite designers. Probably 6 through 10. Berushiari Games by Bez. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but just when they make games, it's just they don't ever feel the same as other games, right? At least most of the time. So I'm excited by that. But he also has like a track record because he like allegedly punched this guy in the back of the head, and he's like a total absolute tool at Gen Con way back when. I covered it like 5 years ago, and like if you sucker punch people, like just personally, I'm like, no thanks. But as a game designer, like, dude, like super great games. Like Team 3 is fantastic. That's Not Lemonade, fantastic. I don't believe the ratings. I know why that rating still looks. It's like a 5-minute game. It's super simple. So 2 to 5 players, 20 to 40 minutes to play, ages 10 plus. That would have been great to know way earlier, but it's fine there. This is as close as you can get the feeling of building a mining town. Okay, that's a quote from you, presumably. Have you played other games about building mining towns? Because I do believe there are other games about building mining towns. For me personally, my favorite game of all time about building mining towns, and I will take a I will recommend this to anyone, is Boomtown, which is a marriage between Antoine Bauza and, I don't know, it's Bruno Cathala and Bruno Fladuti, if I recall correctly. It is a spectacular drafting game where you build a mining town. So you run in your mouth. I hope the game's great, because there are other games in your lane that are directly in your lane, because it's not like it's a crazy original theme. It's a cool theme. A neat game where you competitively co-build as you mine for riches. So pretty much solitaire-ish. Build a quarter together, but watch out as you cross paths with other characters that have their own agendas. Join 1.5 million other subscribers and immerse yourself in over 30 hours of video backstory. Once again, 3rd or 4th time you've mentioned it to me, and it's not even clickable. Like, come on. Come on. Oh, I forgot to look here. So after the video, do I want to? Yeah, I do. I think I want to see a gameplay video, honestly. Can you do it? Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind. If you have 1.5 million subscribers and you own a mining town, you really probably don't need the money to make this. But I'm not one of those people who pounds my chest and say, you should be using Kickstarter if you don't need the money. I really don't care. I think it's a smart business decision. But at the same time, it totally looks like a cash grab, especially when you're first created zero back. Like, oh yeah, I've never actually bought anything here, but hey, we're here. I got 1.5 million subscribers. Give me money. Like, and it's this is what it looks like. Because once again, I don't want you to get it twisted. This is not me being bitter. This is me having covered 1,000 Kickstarters, many of which are just people who have YouTube channels and they bring people to Kickstarter, Backer Kid, or GameFound. They bring their market there, and they bring their audience there, and they use, like, that's fine. But I've never seen anybody else actually advertise their number of subscribers as if it is relevant in the game purchasing, and you keep pounding your chest about it like it's relevant. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's to up your credibility. Like, oh yeah, he's got 1.5 million subscribers. He's obviously going to get the game out. I guess that is it. But to mention it 3 times this early, it feels like a lot. Experience the challenge of the Old West. Brace yourself for blizzards, earthquakes. Man, some text on those cards would be great. We should move that up and then put art here. Maybe that's a stretch goal. Art! With 22 possibilities, events, 5 unique characters, and countless strategic choices, every game is a new adventure and endlessly replayable. 5 real historic characters, quick to grasp map, making, tile, laying, and strategy. Learn the ropes in minutes, then master the depths of possibilities. Cool. I mentioned that honestly on the front. If you can learn something in 5 minutes, I think that is really something that some companies have really started to mention on their boxes, on their Kickstarters. I think it's a great thing to mention because there's just a lot of people who don't want to spend that much time learning rules. And if you tell me there's a 30 to 40 minute game, it takes 5 minutes to learn, I feel like there's going to be a lot more people who are interested in that game. I thought you said no show today. Dang it. Did I? Should I be somewhere right now? I hope I didn't. I hope I'm not missing something. Each has special powers and their own agenda of how to gain their riches. Man, I love how you made them so incredibly tiny that I can't read about their special powers and their agendas. I love how you just spotlighted to me once again, despite the fact I already knew this because you told it to me earlier and I was annoyed back then that I couldn't actually read the special powers, but then you doubled down on it by doing it once again. Instead of just focusing on one of them, we focus once again on the 5 pieces of artwork because I don't get it. And this reeks of first graded zero backed. Go look around the room, people. Go sit on the toilet when you got a big old poo and look at 10 of the most popular crowdfunding projects on GameFound and Kickstarter and steal all the ideas. And when you see an idea over and over and over and over again, here's a great idea. Copy it! Copy it! That's called industry standard, and there's a reason that it's there. Whew. By the way, quick shout out. No, not relevant. 22 possible events. Building doesn't come easy when you're 8,300 feet above sea level. I think there's supposed to be like a feet or something there. With no direct access to wood and water, these events will test your strategy and resilience. Can you overcome blizzards, earthquakes, fires, and shootouts to accomplish what you came to? This feels like a jalop project. Jiminy Christmas. What's in the box? 5 player pawns, 45 coin punch-outs. So this is plastic. So those are plastic, and those are just punch-out things, I do believe. Unless they are plastic. These are all pieces of plastic. It's still, either way, it's not expensive. So our price should be really, really good. Because here's the thing you need to factor in on this. They are asking for $50,000. They do not need to purchase the rights to make a Cerro Gordo Silver Mines game, which you normally would have to take into consideration, right? Because he owns it. He has bragged about that. I shouldn't say bragged, but he's mentioned it over and over again. I would brag about it. So if I owned a freaking mining town and I was rebuilding it, yeah, I'd mention it all the time too. So not criticizing. But this is at most plastic. These are punch-outs. Those are punch-outs. Those are punch-outs. These are cards, large, Terracide maybe they're punch outs. I don't know, but they're not expensive. Cards, so we got 60 cards. No, these are tiles, so 23 cards. That's it. That is the game. That is a $30 game. Reasonable, I think. So that's the price I have in my mind. You've shown me all your components. You've shown me the amount of artwork on here, and I think $30 is a very reasonable price. That's the price I'm expecting, okay? So it's nice that you didn't put it here, and you just go on to the next deluxeified version. So now, as exclusive for this Kickstarter, we have our deluxe limited edition. It's designed to be shinier, weightier, with silver accents throughout. Cool. Don't care. Everything in the original version. Limited edition box with silver full of features. Whatever. Metal stamped coins. That's hot. Cerro Gordo drawstring coin bag. Don't care. Silver foil stamped mine cards. So it is literally... It's a true deluxeification. You know, I can't complain because they didn't throw any gameplay in here. It's a choice. Do you want to upgrade? I don't think most people will. Actually, I do, because once again, 1.5 million subscribers, they want to support you. Like if I ran a Kickstarter, which I am, hopefully next year, I'm designing a game. I've been working on it for a long time, and I finally just got it back out this weekend and just put down like 15 hours on it when my rock concert was canceled, and I am excited. But anyway, silver foil stamp mine cards, whatever. Just hit me with the price already. Play a building and a road. So we do not have a pledge area. Once again, this goes back to the industry standard. Yes, see, Goody, thank you so much for bringing me back on track. The ADHD, my Adderall, I took too early, and now it's, well, I should be heading to Essence Field. That'd be cool. Hopefully next year with my wife. I went a couple of years back. It was super fun. Love it. Super fun convention. But, anyway, Yeah, $50,000. That is an insane amount of money for the game they're making here. Right? And I know they're doing 2 print runs. But even if you were doing 2 print runs, for the amount of components in this game, it's not that expensive. All right? So they are making a really, really, really large print run, which means I expect them to pass the value onto you and not the people in their gift shop, right? Like in theory, I would expect this to be what, $40 at the gift shop, and you're paying $30 here. Like what? So I feel like pounding your chest on the MSRP would be a good idea here, which typically means not so much, but knowing that this is probably going to be in your gift shop, it does mean more. There will be a retail edition that will be at your store or on your website, most likely, because duh, why wouldn't it be? And I'm sure there'll be a card game at one point. Window card completed objectives completed so much. Sometimes the deluxe versions is not as appealing to me, especially when it lacks color. That's got to be done right. Yeah, I like this. That doesn't appeal to me at all. Like I wasn't wowed by the components in the game in the first place because they're not really that impressive components. And so you deluxifying them is like just like, oh, okay, cool. What do we got? 9.8 out of 10. Playtesters rated this. Hundreds of early supporters helped us create this game over multiple rounds of playtesting it, and we asked them to rate it after they were done. Okay. I do like the fact that they're mentioning all the playtesters, though. I'm not gonna knock that. But the 9.8 out of 10, like whatever. The inclusion of real life characters such as Great Touch, building the town around the mines was our favorite aspect of the game. So they liked playing the game. This is a terrible quote. Building the town around the mines was our favorite. Like, that's the game, is building the town, right? I guess you move around the town. It doesn't feel like a great quote. And I know why they put it there. As a family, they played it. Here's the thing. No, you couldn't do that. I was going to say you could, like, give a little bit more information about the age of the family or whatever. But that's not, if you're putting their last name, clearly not what you want to do. So, strike that from the record. But anytime you can convey to me how young people are that were playtesting this is a good thing with pictures and whatnot. We love mining because it's like, oh, I see that kid that's around my kid's age. Now the game immediately becomes more interesting to me because, oh, we love especially if there's a how to play video or a gameplay video or a price. Oh, I know. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Take notes. Take notes. Or you don't take notes and you just browse 10 Kickstarters on the toilet and say, oh, hey, we probably need a pledge area. Okay. As it was actually a joy to play. Wow, I love the beginning of this quote. Imagine if this was a quote from Forrest Bauer. Like, oh yeah, he sent me a review copy and I said, it was actually a joy to play. Like, that's such a loaded sentence. As a whole, I really think this is a great concept. Okay. That's not a quote I'd put there if you had hundreds of playtesters. It was actually fun. And I think it's a great concept. It's a great game. It's a great concept. Sometimes the event cards are really great. They spice up the game because you can't do anything about them and can completely change the gameplay. Okay, that gets me interested, more excited, especially knowing Matt Fantastic is the designer, which they are totally going out of their way to mention. Like, that's one thing. I imagine they were like, no, there it is. Okay, yeah. But here's the thing. I would honestly mention it a little bit. Well, I don't know if you want to. Like, there's the baggage. It's like me. If you mention me, it's like, well, there's baggage there. Yeah, these are great games. Okay, maybe it's maybe top 5's too high, top 10's too high. I think I just love Team 3. That's not. You know what? Yeah, I think he's down in the bad res. I'm gonna go 6 through 10. But I do know there's another game or two I played of his that I really liked. I still think he designs games really fascinating, and I really enjoy his games. But I love when they advertise 8+10 on BGG when the game hasn't been released yet, meaning it's only because people are hyped about the marketing. Doesn't imply this ever exists. Yeah, it can, but it also could be like the the early ratings on Tabletopia. That's one thing that I'm more surprised people don't have. Like, I don't know if there's a rating system on Tabletop Simulator or Tabletopia, but if there is, I feel like that would be a thing to spotlight. Yeah, it's been played 437 times on Tabletopia and has an average rating of 4.1 out of 5. I say, well, that's pretty dang good, right? Get on that, Tabletopia, Tabletop Simulator. Don't worry about hurting people's feelings. They make a crappy game, well, they know. We have a real booklet, or they will know when they play more games, or people who play more games than they have play their game and say, hey, wow, you should play more games. We have a rule booklet for you here and print and play if you wish to cut things up. Cool. The team, stuff, things. We got a squad. Looks nice. I would imagine you have a squad if you run a small mining town, which just sounds so cool. Our team provides game designers with over a decade of experience, entrepreneurs who successfully blah, 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 blah. Shipping and taxes. Shipping to the US and Canada, so it's $8, dirt cheap. So what am I, $35 in and out the door? Yeah, this is terrible. Spotlight this. This is a fantastic price. This should be on the marquee. Like, yeah, cool. You have 1.5 million subscribers. You know what's more cool to the majority of the people? The fact the game's $27. The fact the game is $35 in and out the door. What did I say, 30 bucks? You are conceivably passing on some value to me. I feel. So it's just kind of surprising that it just feels like it's just thrown over here. But once again, it shouldn't be, because when you don't look around the room at industry standard, you make mistakes like this, right? Stretch goals not even going to tease me with something. Nothing. It's not cards. Is it upgrades? Nothing. Once again, we don't see this super awesome often where they don't mention anything at all about the stretch goals. It's just one of those things where it's like, get people excited. And hopefully they up that up higher once they do hit their funding, because they totally will. Just launched today, and they have 1.5 million subscribers, and I'm sure they're going to drop a video soon. And it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be so fascinating, like in the comment section here and the comment section in the comments, because what you always have with projects like these, and I love it, I love to be a fly on the wall, is inevitably people who will give them constructive criticism about how this is not a great Kickstarter page and how they could make improvements, and then people who will needlessly bend over backward to defend them and take it personally. And I love when people do that. I love it. I love it so much. I think it's so fun. But let's see this deluxe. So $30. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Wow, I'm good. 45. So it's an $18 price jump. It doesn't feel good because I don't want any of the stuff, but it doesn't feel terrible because it's still only $45. But then again, the game you showed me there doesn't look really like a $53 game once we get all said and done. And as a result, Bauer's Law is being broken. Who's getting both? What? Oh, as a gift. I got it. You know what? I take it. I take that. And this is one thing that I really want to point out. We don't typically see pledge levels where you have both the base game and the deluxe game, especially when they're the exact same game, and especially when you can't combine them to play at larger player counts. But I think this really speaks to the fact that people just want to support this person because they love the YouTube channel. And so having this pledge level, I think, is a great idea if you are in that position. And this is why I love covering Kickstarters, because I would have never thought of that. Normally, when I see two games, I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's for like international shipping and not. This is like literally like, oh, give one as a gift. And it's kind of a smart idea, right? Especially if people have gone there. Like, oh, yeah, I follow this YouTube channel. I picked it up, $34. Like, this is great. I think this is really smart. And once again, 48 is a large number. And you say, that's not really that large. But it is when you consider it's 25% of the early bird, right? It's nearly 25% of the early bird, and it's just a pledge that includes 2 copies of the game, one fancy, one not, which I think really, that is the most telling piece of information that I think I will see here. I'm really glad I saw that. That's fascinating to me. Hopefully, I don't forget it. Okay. Wow. This is a really cool pledge level. I wish you would have told me about it in some sort of predefined area over here in your story, in your campaign story, where you're supposed to tell me all the things about your game and all that cool stuff. Instead, it's buried over here. Now, luckily, because you have 1.5 million subscribers, and I'm sure you probably mentioned this pledge to them, and it is a really cool pledge, right? Like, it's super cool. Like, imagine just flip this, and it was like a decent price. It was like, you can go see the Dice Tower, see their studios, and take a tour, and it's like, oh, cool, it's super neat. Like, like that's a really reasonable price. Early Bird Deluxe, 200. Deluxe and Standard, 100. Man, so many. But they studied their market. They knew. Like, that's so interesting. And I'm interested to check out the community, because it's going to be a lot of new people. Yeah, huge number of new people. 18 in London. That's interesting. Okay, it's a really large number of new people, but for a project like that, I'm not doubting it. Most of the time I would, but 1.5 million subscribers, that'd be stupid to doubt it, right? Just no. So final grade. No, let's check out the updates, comments, because it just launched today, so I doubt there's going to be much. Nothing in the FAQ. No. Nothing in the updates. Great start. We're now almost to our goals. Stretch goals coming next. Oh, yeah, cool. We're off to a great start. Thanks to all these for showing us, and welcome all those who are new to town. We're coming close to the goal and making the creation of the game official. Soon you'll be able to bring part of Cerro Gordo to your homes. There was no gameplay video at all, was there? Ew, icky. Point grade bumped up. As soon as we reach our 50K goal, well, that's an exciting stretch goal. It's something many people have asked for and suggested. You know what would be even more exciting? If you just told us. Now, maybe this is like their whole play is to announce it piecemeal to get their 1.5 million subscribers to keep coming back to the page so it will tickle the algorithms and punch it up to #1 on the popularity chart, especially in a time period where GameFound is really just absolutely rocking Kickstarter right now. Like, it is astounding to me. Kind of love to see it because Kickstarter, for the longest time, they were like, we don't have to change. We don't have to change. We don't have to change. And they're like, oh shit, we got to change. And they're changing fast. But GameFound's like, hey boys, we already got a bunch of big customers. And it's exciting to see, right? And then I see like some stuff on BackerKit, right? Like there's an RPG right now from Renegade Game Studios on BackerKit. That is a big deal. Don't discount that because if Renegade Game Studios pulls up the roots from Kickstarter 2, says, hell, we're BackerKit, right? Like, that's a big, dude. All those stupid little Power Rangers minis and all that crap they put out. Like, they got so many different series. It's a big deal. Kickstarter's, I'm not going to say they're in trouble, but when it comes to tabletop games, they're not nearly as dominant as they once were. They're still, don't get it twisted, they're still #1. But times are changing. It's really interesting to see. Love it, Brett. Ordered both games. Question: does one need to know the history of Cerro Gordo to play the game? Ask for a follow. No. That's a great question. You don't know anything about it. I've been following Brett's amazing journey on YouTube videos. These are just people who want to support. Cool. Love it. Great. Making a game. It's kind of a crazy idea. I imagine he's got like a clickbaity thumbnail thing like, oh, crazy announcement. Totally wild or whatever. Either way. Final grade. Do I want it? Yes, I do. I like the theme. I like the designer. You gave me not nearly enough information, but I am intrigued, and I am a historical buff. Middle-aged white guy, historical buff. Oh my gosh, shocking revelation. Yeah, I am. So I'm in. Do I want it? Yes. I honestly wanted to play it the second I saw Matt Fantastic was attached to it, and I didn't really care about the theme at all. But when I found out the theme, I was even more interested. I love what GameFound is doing, and BackerKit is really doing well in the RPG market, but not so much board games. I love the competition go. The other thing they're doing really, really well, and it's such a weird thing, is they're really kind of turned into like the Etsy-ish crowdfunding thing, I almost feel like, with how many pins, and they have tons of art projects. They have one board game right now. It's like near $100,000 that I covered last week, where it's like a crocheting game. It's so dumb in some instances, but yeah, it's like they're carving out their lane, and them carving out their lanes is literally just like, hey, Kickstarter, we're just gonna take those from you. You can have everything else. It's not great for Kickstarter. Can you do it? Yeah, you have 1.5 million subscribers. You could do this probably without the money. Not that I care, but whatever. And plus, you're asking $50,000 to make a game that realistically you could do with 40% of that pretty easily if you just knocked off the unnecessary deluxe edition. But it's not unnecessary because you have fans who are going to buy it. So whatevs. Can you do it? Yeah, I'm not worried about that. You're not going to have this black eye on your record of, oh yeah, we put out a game. It was a total dumpster fire. Let's just not talk about it. And then how much is it? Reasonably priced. I was worried we were going to say like a $45, $60 price or something stupid, and you were clearly just going to screw over consumers and be like, and it's still not a great price. Like, if you're making that many copies of the game, let's not get it twisted. They don't need $50,000 to make this. But it doesn't feel like they're jamming us with a fork. So, final grade for this one. It's not good. It's not a good grade. Main image is not inspiring. The video got me as a history buff, but if you're not a history buff, I wonder how much it would get you, right? Like, if you're like, yeah, I don't care, man. I don't give a crap about history games. I don't like, and then you get to like where it's supposed to be thematic, and you're like, oh, cool. We're not zooming in on anything. There's next to no artwork on the cards. Like, oh, is this going to be one of those games where it's like the theme is very like loosely connected? Like, you've played that where it's like, man, this theme, I wonder if this was a different theme before. I'm not saying that is what's going on, but it's like, it doesn't feel like it's dripping with theme, right? Which is unfortunate, especially with such a cool theme. So final grade for this one, and then like just not having a pledge area, not mentioning your awesome $200 like super cool thing. Just really, it feels like just aiming this at primarily your fans when there's definite crossover appeal. And all you have to do, I feel like, to unlock it is stop bragging about your damn 1.5 million subscribers, or better yet, just pop that over here and then put $27 early bird. And then when you change it, switch it. Focus on the player count, the time link, the age, the design, or something aside from, hey, here's a box, here's art. It's so weird. And it really just, it reeks of the first created, zero backed. And it's unfortunate. And hopefully they'll come back with a second game. Not to say they're going to fail, but I imagine they're going to do like a card game or something like that. And they'll learn from like feedback from people and crush it. History buff, there's a PAX game on GameFound about the Mexican Revolution. You might want to check that out. It's called PAX Porfiana. That does sound interesting. And I was going to schedule some stuff for next week and later this week, so I think I will do that. So final grade for Cerro Gordo Silver Mines. I'm trying to drag it out because I really like... no gameplay video. No preview video. Like, no videos pretty much at all. When I went to Kickstarter, there was like a 50-second video. So the videos you have are this and a 50-second video. And I want you to really think about that. If you were launching this game, would you want the 2 videos people could go to a 50-second video and me? No. But you could easily take care of that by just strapping a freaking camera to anything. My first tripod was literally a hot dog bun on top of a clock radio on top of a broken laundry basket. No, actually, it was just a laptop, but my actual real tripod. So you could shoot a video. You've done hundreds of playtests. Where are these pictures? Where are these videos of anyone playing it? Where's the design process? Like, where is something tangible about this game to get me excited about it as a gamer? And you just didn't do it. You just... And it's unfortunate, because it definitely feels like it has crossover appeal. So in the end, I think this is a pretty not great Kickstarter. Like, I feel like it's D. Right? Because here's the thing, and I know I'm judging it a little extra harsh because it's not funded. And here's the problem doing that. People abuse it. That's all they do now. Oh, we're funded in 18 seconds. Yeah. Why was there 16 people from Singapore who backed it? And then it went to 10 people from Singapore. Like, stuff like that. And it's like, oh, you're back in 18 seconds because, yeah, you said you needed $3,000 to make a minis game. Get the hell out of here. But the problem is, by doing that, it gives them that attention. They're abusing the system, and by their choice not to abuse the system, they don't get the attention. Because which is more interesting? Oh, this is 3,000% funded versus this is 83% funded. And it sucks. But it is what it is. So at the end of the day, I think this is a D. It doesn't feel like a good brand campaign. I unfortunately don't feel like the game's probably going to be for me. Maybe if they unlock a boatload of stretch goals and there's way more variability. But I don't know. It just, it doesn't. D. They're lucky they have massive support already. Bingo. Bingo. That's what I really want you to think about this. Imagine if this project wasn't attached to a YouTube channel with 1.5 million subscribers and they were asking for $50,000 right now. Imagine how that project would be going. Imagine if this project would be going if they were just asking for $20,000 or $15,000. Realistic funding goals, right? Like stuff they actually need the money. So yeah, it's a D. Let me know in the comments below. What's your final grade for Cerro Gordo Silver Mines by Ghost Town Living Games? And admit it, you sure as hell, if you were launching your Kickstarter game, would not want the 2 videos people could check out. A 50-second video of someone who probably, I don't know, read your rules or something. Oh, I like his picture there. And by the way, that's not me throwing shade. Mine's me also a picture of me drunk and yelling. So much love on the drunk and yelling picture. Oh, no, I changed it. It used to be me yelling. I need to change that back. Stupid professional me with this logo I don't even use anymore. But let me know in the comments below what's your final grade. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. Bye-bye.